Let me now shift to the Cincinnati Bengals. I want to talk about Joe Burrow because let's be real. The Cincinnati Bengals are really only an interesting team because of Joe Burrow. You're not talking about the Cincinnati Bengals because of Sam Hubbard. I think he's a good player, but Joe Burrow is what moves the needle for me. If Joe Burrow's not playing for the Bengals, I'm not interested in them. I'm sorry, people. Of course, I'm going to do my due diligence and cover all 32 NFL teams, just like I cover all the NBA teams. But Joe Burrow makes things more interesting for Cincinnati. No doubt about it. He's made that franchise relevant once again. And I believe Joe Burrow is a special quarterback. Not just an average quarterback, not just a guy that's pretty good. I think Joe Burrow is different. He's special. And I advocated for the Cincinnati Bengals to draft him heading into that 2020 draft. You know, when he was at LSU, he had an all-time great season. Maybe arguably the greatest college football season of all time. Now, Joe Burrow did suffer a setback this past year in Cincinnati as he tore his ACL midway through the season versus Washington. It was a brutal injury, but I do trust that Joe Burrow will be back and close to 100% and will forget this ever happened. But I could see a scenario where Joe Burrow potentially, if my prediction were to end up being wrong, it could end up being because Joe Burrow, for whatever reason, isn't quite the same post-ACL injury. So that is something to keep your eye on. But I believe in Joe Burrow. Okay, Joe Burrow had an excellent rookie season before he got hurt. In 10 games, had 13 touchdown passes to 5 interceptions, had a 90 passer rating. And I think Joe Burrow really is only scratching the surface. Joe Burrow showcased veteran habits as a rookie, meaning he was making great decisions with the football. He was taking care of the football, not turning it over. And his ability to process defenses, I'm not going to say it's elite right now because there's only a few guys that are elite at processing defenses, but it's really, really good, especially for a rookie, man. He's making great decisions as a rookie, okay? And Joe Burrow is a hard worker. You hear about his work ethic, you know, from him being a guy that was sort of casted off at Ohio State in favor of Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins beats him out. Joe Burrow has a transfer to LSU, has a decent year the first year at LSU, but then that leap that he made his second year at LSU, it was a phenomenal leap, and that's a testament to his work ethic, okay? And Joe Burrow, like I said, he's a guy that's the first guy in, last guy out. He's very competitive. There's reports that this guy just hates losing. He's a guy that you do not want to be around in that locker room if he loses. And Joe Burrow comes across as a very confident quarterback. He has that swagger, but he also kind of knows when to tone it down and be serious, okay? And his ball placement down the field and accuracy down the field is pretty special stuff, man. And last year, TJ Houshmandzadeh was raving about this guy. TJ Houshmandzadeh, if you don't know, he's a former Cincinnati Bengal player. He trains with players in the offseason. He was working out with Joe Burrow, and he said even quarterbacks like Josh Allen, who plays for the Buffalo Bills, who had a great season last year, you know, that was working with Joe Burrow. He said even Josh Allen was raving about Joe Burrow's accuracy, and he hadn't even played an NFL game yet. That's how special Joe Burrow is, really. His ability to process information quickly, the way he handles blitzes is very impressive. There just really seems to be no panic with Joe Burrow. You know, there's a little bit of a Tom Brady, you know, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers quality where if you bring pressure in their face, those guys, for whatever reason, they just don't panic. You know, they're calm, cool, and collected, and they make great decisions even with guys in their face, you know. And look, there is some things Joe Burrow will need to work on. His deep ball accuracy wasn't all that great this past year. I do attribute that to him playing behind a piss poor, very bad offensive line. And you could maybe point to his lack of arm strength being a concern. But I think Joe Burrow is going to work on his deep ball accuracy because at LSU, he showcased the ability to throw the deep ball very, very well. So I think that's just a rookie growing pain he'll have to go through. I will say Joe Burrow also, his mobility and athleticism is very underrated. He's able to evade pressure when guys come running free towards him. He's not as fast as a Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray, or Lamar Jackson, but he's a very good athlete. I think that he's actually a more mobile and bigger version of Drew Brees. I believe that's what he could become. Like, best case scenario for Joe Burrow, in my opinion, is he's a bigger, stronger, faster version of Drew Brees. And Drew Brees is one of the most accurate and precise passers the NFL has ever seen, a former Super Bowl champion. And once the Saints put a good team around Drew Brees, he won a Super Bowl. And I think if the Bengals put talent around Joe Burrow and they put the right coaching staff in place, he's going to win big games. I think Joe Burrow has ice in his veins. He won a Heisman and a national championship in college. There's no reason why this guy can't win a Super Bowl if he stays healthy. So I hope the Bengals build around Joe Burrow. I'm very interested to see how things play out in Cincinnati over the next, 5 to 10 years. I think Joe Burrow is the guy for the future. I was actually recently at the Cincinnati Bengals training camp practice in Cincinnati, and Joe Burrow, he looked pretty good. You know, he was throwing the ball effectively, and I think Cincinnati has some good young talent, but they still have a lot of ways to go before they're better than Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cleveland. You know, they've got a long ways to go. But Joe Burrow, to me, will be there every step of the way. He's going to provide them with great quarterback play. And it's kind of funny. You know, the Bengals had a great team when Andy Dalton was there, but Andy Dalton was the problem. Now, they finally have a great quarterback, and it seems like the supporting cast around Joe Burrow is the problem. If they could just blend in Joe Burrow and put some talent with him, there's going to be some good things in Cincinnati, no doubt about it. So that's how I feel about Joe Burrow. I believe he is a special quarterback, like I said. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juiciest Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juiciest Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.